guys, we left Darwin this morning. We're just about to turn onto the central Arnhem Road. We're doing a week exploring around Arnhem Land and we'll let you know how it is.
So we decided we are going to let the tire pressure down a little bit. It's not too bad, but just feeling a little bit skippy, so it'll make our ride a lot smoother, and it also helps to keep the track a bit more intact for other people. So what are we going down to?
34.
Said with confidence.
Basically a really fine dust, basically about the same as what talcum powder is, but you do need to be careful in it because when you look at it from the road you can't see how deep it necessarily is, or if there's any obstacles that are in it that can blow your tyres or something. So it's, if you do come across it, try to avoid it if you can. If you do need to go through it, just go through slow so you can keep control of the car and avoid as much tie down.
Okay, so after 2 really big days of driving from Darwin, we've arrived at our first camp in Arnhem Land. So it's called Scout Camp, and we're just about to go for a little dip. Mentioned yesterday about dropping our tire pressures driving up Arnhem Road. Now, probably the biggest way to trigger any four-wheel drivers to bring up tire pressure. A lot of people have some very strong opinions about it, and we're definitely not telling people what to do or saying that this is fact. This is just kind of our opinion on the matter. We have done fairly well with our tires. We in 2.5+ years of travel, we've only had 1 punctured tire, and that was from a nail. That was easily repairable. But yeah, I'll take it over to Mark and he'll tell you about what we do with our tire pressure.
Alright, so at the moment with the new tyres that we've got on the car, we're running about 40 psi for everyday driving. On this road at the moment we've gone down to about 32%, so that's just smoothed out the ride. That's smoothed out the ride a bit for us, and it also does help preserve the road. As a bit of a general rule though, if you have decreased your tyre pressure by about 20-25%, drop your speed by 20-25% as well from what you would normally be driving. So especially going around corners, you do have a bit more roll in a car, so it's just something to be aware of as well. And as Sandy said, every car setup's different. What works for us might not work for you, but we've found that going down on this road 32 has been fine for us, which has been good because a lot of the roads actually been pretty recently graded, so it means that we can keep up a little bit of a higher speed too than what we would need to go if we lowered them down too much further. Through sand and mud is a bit of a different story. You can go down to 16-18 psi depending on, again, what your car is. Some people don't like to lower the tyre pressure on corrugations because they think that it can expose the sidewall to rocks and that, which I think does have probably some merit to it, but in the same sense, in our opinion, most of the four-wheel drive tyres these days have got protected sidewalls anyway, so it's a bit of a catch-22, but we lower the tyre pressure. It just makes it all a bit easier on the car. It makes the car a lot less bouncy and makes the ride for us inside it a lot more enjoyable as well, which is a pretty big thing of it. And yeah, that's what we do. Just something to consider when you're looking at your setup as to if you lower or if you keep your tyre pressure tight.
So one thing I didn't know about East Arnhem Land until we got up to Darwin and started talking to people is there's actually a lot of inland waterholes that you can explore. So some of the places like Scout Camp, which we were camped at last night, and Memorial Camp you can only access if you have a camping permit. But places like this, which is Granite Lagoon or Wathawooi, you can just day visit, and it's a really lovely spot to cool down and have a little explore. Nice and early this morning. We're off to the boat ramp. We've hired a boat for the day, so we're just gonna go out and explore some of the islands around here. Hopefully catch some fish.
Hopefully lots of fish.
Yeah. What a day for it. Alright, so we've just arrived at Granite Island, so it's a little set of islands just off the shore of Nhulunbuy. Beautiful white sand, clear water, and we're just gonna go for a little wander and explore and see what's around. So you can actually camp here, which is pretty cool. We're just here for the day, but we're starting to see some action in the water just over there, so we might take the boat out, see if we can actually land some fish. So we can see plenty of fish jumping around, but we're not getting any interest, so we're going to try a different spot. It's starting to get a little bit choppy, so we'll get a little bit out of the wind and see how we go. So this is the camping area for the Granite Islands. Looks like a pretty magic spot, so I reckon we'll have to come back one day and
live here.
Live here. Now is commonly known as Little Bondi, after Bondi Beach in Sydney. because apparently people love to surf here, even though it's a known rocky area.
This is kind of what I'm looking for at the moment.
So no yet and no surfers. It's a little bit messy today, but maybe we'll come back and see if there's any around. Still beautiful though. The track coming into here was a lot more interesting than we were expecting, so we're gonna put on our dash cam and video us on the way out. Hopefully we don't get bugged. It's all up to Mark.
No pressure. This is not a good start.
Okay, so we were getting a little bit stuck on the turnaround, so we dropped down to 24 psi. 22 psi, and we're gonna give it another go.
So we made it out, and that's the beauty of carrying one of these things, is that we let our tyres down at 22 psi, which is a little bit too low for the roads that we're going to be going on now. But we can just pump it back up, get ourselves back to a normal pressure and be on our way.
Set up at our camp for the next 2 nights. We're just camped off of Turtle Beach. We have this cool little secluded camp spot just among the trees, and then the beach is right there. So this is our last camp spot in East Arnhem. This is Cape Arnhem. And it's beautiful here. The local told us that if we fished off these rocks, we were pretty much guaranteed to catch something, but they obviously don't know us and our luck with fishing or lack thereof. But we're still gonna give it a go, so fingers crossed. So no fish, no surprise there, but we're actually gonna try something that we haven't tried before, which is try and get some oysters off the beach. Raw oysters aren't really our jam, so we're gonna cook them over the barbecue. Again, we've never done this before, so no idea how this is gonna turn out, but hopefully pretty good. We think they're cooked. We put a little bit of hot sauce on them too, and Mark's gonna be the first to give them a try.
Actually not bad.
A glowing review by Mark.
Sometimes I can embrace a effortlessly. You left me with nothing. Power of my melody, 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 power of my melody. You left me with nothing.
Showing how bumpy some of these tracks are. You can see her stuff spot everywhere.
Good core workout.
Just hanging on for dear life.
We might look like we're going fast, but we're only going about 10k an hour.
So we're at the end of Central Arnhem Road. Had an amazing week out there.
It caught me by surprise actually how good it was up there. Like, I had some expectations of it, but it really just blew me away how beautiful and everything it was up there. And we got fairly lucky as well. The road is a lot better condition at the moment. Granted, that could be different next week, but even the road up there was a surprisingly good road for us. So we really enjoyed it.
And now we're gonna head back to Darwin and get ready for our next adventure.
Bye to the pub.
See you guys.